Saifi was a young boy, soft-spoken, simple, and painfully innocent in a world that wasn't always kind to people like him. He wasn't stupid. He simply trusted too easily, believed too quickly, and forgave too generously. His heart was pure, his intentions clean, and his life peaceful. Until his cousin Zion came into the picture. Zion was everything Saifi wasn't: clever, manipulative, sharp-tongued, and dangerously charming. He could lie with a smile, deceive with confidence, and still make everyone around him believe he was the real victim. Adults adored him, relatives praised him, elders believed his every word, and said he was the punching bag of Zion's cleverness. From childhood, Zion learned that Saifi was easy to blame, and nobody questioned it. If a vase broke, it was Saifi's carelessness. If money went missing, it was Saifi's mistake. If homework wasn't submitted, Saifi forgot to remind him. Saifi, naive as always, tried to stay patient. He loved his cousin. He believed Zion would grow out of his mischief. But mischief turned into cruelty. Zion discovered his power early. He learned that the simplest lies could destroy Saifi's peace, and everyone would believe him without hesitation. As they grew older, Zion's cruelty sharpened like a blade. He would frame Saifi for things he never did, making sure Saifi looked like a fool in front of the entire family. If Saifi tried to defend himself, Zion twisted the situation, making the adults believe Saifi was lying. One day, Zion pushed Saifi into a puddle of mud right before a family dinner. Saifi arrived covered in dirt, trembling and embarrassed, and instead of helping him, the elders scolded him for rolling in filth like a child. Zion sat there smiling, sipping juice, pretending to be shocked. That night, Saifi cried. His heart wasn't built for this world. He wasn't weak. He was simply alone. But the worst was yet to come. Zion had always enjoyed hurting Saifi, but one day, he took things too far. Something changed inside him, something dark, twisted, and hungry for control. That day would mark the beginning of a storm that would change both boys forever. A storm that would turn Saifi from a quiet, simple soul into someone who would one day take the revenge he never imagined he was capable of. The day it happened was strangely quiet. The air was thick, unmoving, the sky pale and cloudless. Even the birds refused to sing, as if the world sensed what was coming. Zion approached Saifi with an unusual softness. That alone should have been the warning. "Saifi, come with me," he said with a smile. "I want to show you something cool." Saifi's heart warmed instantly. It wasn't often that Zion spoke to him kindly. Maybe today would be different, he thought. Maybe Zion wanted to be friends again, like when they were toddlers running through fields together. Saifi followed him without hesitation. Zion led him to a far corner of the village, a place where the land was uneven and the soil loose. There were old construction pits, their deep holes left behind when workers abandoned a project years ago. "Look down there," Zion said, pointing to one of the pits. Saifi leaned forward. That was the moment Zion struck. With a sharp, sudden shove, he pushed Saifi from behind. Saifi gasped, his hands flailed in the air, trying to grab anything, but there was nothing. He fell. The world blurred. The air rushed past him. Then darkness. He hit the bottom of the hole hard. Pain exploded across his legs and back. "Zion," he whispered, trembling. Zion appeared at the edge of the hole, looking down, not with fear, not with regret, but with satisfaction. "Stay there," Zion said coldly. "Let's see how clever you are now." Saifi's heart tore. He wasn't just hurt, he was betrayed in the purest, rawest form. A betrayal so deep it broke something inside him that would never heal. For hours, Saifi screamed for help. His throat bled from shouting. The sky turned orange, then purple, then black. Still, he screamed. No one came. By the time he was rescued the next day, he was bruised, dehydrated, and half-dashed delirious. The elders didn't believe his story. They believed Zion. Zion claimed Saifi fell by accident. He even cried fake tears, so they scolded Saifi for roaming around dangerous places. That night, as Saifi lay in bed, staring at the ceiling with tears streaming down his face, something happened inside him. A shift, a spark, a realization. No one was coming to save him. No one believed him. No one cared if he wanted justice, if he wanted peace, if he wanted respect. He would have to take it himself. The simple, innocent Saifi they all knew died in that hole. And in his place, a new Saifi began to awaken. One who wasn't afraid anymore. One who wouldn't stay silent. One who would make Zion regret the day he ever crossed him. Revenge was no longer a fantasy. It had become a destiny. After the fall, Saifi changed. He didn't laugh much. He didn't talk much. He didn't trust anyone, not even his shadow. But he watched. He listened. He learned the boy who was not clever began to grow sharper each day. His eyes, once soft and innocent, now carried a small spark of fire. A fire born from betrayal. He studied Zion's habits, his lies, his weaknesses. Zion, smug and confident, didn't notice the change. Why would he? In his mind, Saifi was still the same simple fool, the same punching bag, the same gullible soul he could control. But the truth was far different. Saifi had learned the art of silence, the power of patience, the strength of observation. He understood something Zion never expected. A clever enemy is dangerous, but a quiet enemy is deadly. Slowly, Saifi began gathering information, small secrets Zion thought no one knew. Zion stole money from his uncle's shop. He cheated in his school tests. He lied to girls, manipulated them, then blamed them. He sneaked out at night to gamble with older boys. He owed money to dangerous people. Saifi collected these secrets like weapons, and then he waited. The perfect moment came sooner than he expected. Zion was preparing for an important family event, his engagement ceremony. The house was filled with relatives, guests, and elders. Everyone saw Zion as the golden boy, the pride of the family. Saifi watched quietly, his expression unreadable. He didn't need to confront Zion physically. He didn't need to push him into a hole. He only needed to do one thing: reveal Zion's true face. In front of everyone. And that opportunity arrived when Zion's fiancée handed him a small letter she found hidden in his jacket pocket. It wasn't just a letter. It was one of the notes Zion wrote to another girl, sweet, romantic, and full of false promises. The fiancé's face fell. The elders demanded explanations, and that's when Saifi stepped forward, not weak, not scared, but calm and steady. He revealed everything Zion had been hiding. Every lie, every trick, every secret, every sin. He told them about the thefts, the gambling, the girls, the death, the manipulation. Zion's face turned pale. Some relatives gasped. Others shouted. The room exploded with anger. Zion tried to defend himself, but his words collapsed under the weight of Saifi's truth. For the first time in his life, Zion stood alone. No one believed him anymore. No one defended him anymore. No one trusted him anymore. The boy who used to stand above sea was now beneath him, crushed, exposed, disgraced. But Saifi wasn't finished. He approached Zion slowly, looked him straight in the eyes, and whispered, "You threw me into a hole, but you forgot something. People in holes learn to climb." And Saifi walked away, leaving Zion drowning in the destruction he had created with his own hands. Zion's downfall didn't stop at humiliation. His engagement was cancelled. His family lost trust in him. His reputation shattered. The relatives he used to impress now avoided him, and the people he owed money to, they came looking for him. For the first time in his life, Zion was afraid. Not of Saifi, not of consequences, but of himself, of the monster he had become, the monster he could no longer hide. Meanwhile, Saifi flourished. He grew confident, stronger, wiser. People finally saw him for who he really was: kind, hardworking, respectful. Respect followed him. Love surrounded him. Peace found him. But deep inside, Saifi carried a silent fear. What if Zion tried to hurt him again? What if the darkness hadn't left him? That fear came true one night. Zion, cornered and desperate, confronted Saifi near the old construction site, the same place where he once shoved him. "You ruined my life," Zion screamed, his voice shaking with anger. Saifi didn't flinch. "You ruined your own life," he replied calmly. Zayan charged at him, furious, ready to push him again. But this time, Saifi didn't fall. He sidestepped, letting Zion's own momentum carry him forward. Zion stumbled right to the edge of another pit. He froze. The irony was chilling. Saifi approached him slowly. Fear flashed across Zion's eyes. "You want revenge?" Saifi said quietly. "I already took mine." Zion's breath trembled. He expected a push. He expected the same cruelty he once showed. But instead, Saifi stepped back. "I'm not you," he said, "and I'll never be you." Zion collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed. That night became the final chapter of their war. Saifi walked away not as a victim, not as a hero, but as a man who rose from a hole stronger than anyone expected. Zion never bothered him again. In time, he left the village. Ashamed and unable to rebuild his ruined life, Saifi stayed peaceful, respected, and proud. His revenge wasn't about hurting Zion physically. His revenge was truth, strength, and rising higher than the boy who tried to bury him. Saifi learned that real revenge wasn't pushing someone into darkness. Real revenge was climbing into the light.